Greetings and welcome. Tonight's episode, The Armchair Wizard. Somewhere between sorcery, the arcane teachings, and the techno-occult, there is tranquility of lifestyle. 35 years ago, I experienced a separation from my persona. That is, the person and identity I have grown up to believe is who I am. Now then, during this experience, I found that when the personality, my name, and all worldly associations were cast off like old garments, I found myself in what I can only describe as a void, an endless void. I was then a pinpoint of consciousness. It was sort of horrifying at first to realize that all I had ever been in life, and all those whom I knew closest to me, were all but a dream. I had not intentionally willed myself to experience any of this. I believe I might have been focusing, prior to this experience, energy from a generic amplifier pattern, hovering my face over this amplifying circle as an experiment to see if I could feel any energy coming from the geometrical pattern. But this alone should not have triggered a full awakening, jerking me out of mind and body, an awakening which ordinarily requires several stages to ascend before experiencing, if ever, and would take some years of occult training with an organization or perhaps a very good mentor. However, I was not in that sort of circle. My mind came to a realization while I was there, in that void. Firstly, that I was alone, and observing the core of all possibility. Everything possible was inside of this construct, a thin veil of light, a circle of unlimited circumference. And yet, expanding, ever so expanding, whilst also fading into eternal blackness. When the light died out at last, I asked myself if I was truly alone. For a moment, it seemed so. But at length, in response to this inquiry, I detected yet another light. But I could not fathom its position. The dimension is indescribable. Whilst I were in a blackness that was not an emptiness, not a thing, and yet not nothing. My awareness rolled like thunder inward into this higher plane, like an astigmatism of the mind's eye, a Charlie horse in my soul. All else I do not remember after this point. As a matter of course, decades later, I worked the courage to meditate and bring my mind back into that realm of ego self in the ultimate void. I had it figured I could alter reality better from that position in the void than by simply working from my body in my armchair back in my room. Later still, I discovered through my magical studies the being known as Azazel, a demon. Meditating with Azazel, I asked about his abilities and how I might perform what I term neurokinetics, which is control over bodies and nervous systems, and how to exist all over the earth at all places at all times, how to be omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. In response, I was given a vision. A vision that's hard to describe exactly, but it all tied into one man's work, William Walker Atkinson, and in particular, his book, a trio in one book. It's called The Arcane Teachings. In this book, I was surprised to discover that an initiate before myself, a neophyte, had experienced a similar state, described much like my own time, spent in this ultimate void. This man was a student of what was once known as the New Thought movement, an occult circle in the early 1900s. And this student had experienced this state of true self, as it is assumed, describing the experience as a lone observer of the universe going to sleep. There is a middle ground between the schools of thought, one school being that of sorcery or wizardry, and the other the theorist occultist. Sometimes described as the armchair theorist. Vrilock Psionics, as a matter of course, shows you how to have your own experiences and then take the higher ground in life with your Vrilock Psionics skills in psionics training and psionics technology. I invite you to take the psionics video courses. Vrilock Psionics training offers you so much power and knowledge and good fortune. Head over to vrilock.com/shop. Take the Psionics Academy video course. Take the Awesome Amplifiers video course. Vril Fire and Ice video course. And keep the magic high. This is Air Doctor, signing out.